Hello, good afternoon. Hopefully you'll hear me this time. My video is playing up a little bit, so give me 1 second. Right, I think we're now live. Happy days. A few technical difficulties there, so apologies that I'm a few minutes later than planned. Mercury retrograde, I'm going to blame it on that. I don't normally, but when it comes to technology, I will. So we are live, day 1 of intuitive life design. Okay, so what's it all about and why should you even bother? So I'm just going to give you a minute or two just to come in for those who are able to join live. Do let me know if you're here in the comments so that I can feel that I'm not talking to myself. But anyway, if you can't make it live, don't worry. Comment anyway with the hashtag replay and let me know that you have caught up on the video at some stage. So today, day 1 of intuitive life design, what's it all about? I'm going to be live at 1 o'clock every day this week, Monday to Friday, for 15-20 minutes. I'm not going to keep you long. You've got loads of things to do in your life. You don't necessarily need to be sitting with me every day. This is just really to give you an insight as to what intuitive life design is all about, the new program that is going to be building up into being the signature program that Rocks and Rituals offers. So today I'm going to tell you a little bit about what it is, and we're going to take an initial look at how we can take stock of our own lives and take responsibility for where we maybe need to start thinking about making change. Day 2 will be all about how I've used the tools that I'm going to talk about in intuitive life design, how I've used those to turn my own life around. So you'll get a bit of my backstory and stuff that has been going on in my life. Day 3, Wednesday, then we'll talk about navigating the challenges that come your way, because challenges do come your way. Life is not always just really smooth. Okay, life changes, life moves along. So on Wednesday we'll talk about navigating the changes and the challenges. Day 4 we'll talk about setting ourselves up for success with consistent daily habits. And then on day 5, Friday, I'm going to answer any questions that you have about the program, and the program will go live. So just as a recap for anybody who's just joining us, day 1 today, we're going to talk about what intuitive life design is, why I've decided to set this up, and a little bit about how you can get started. Day 2, we're going to talk about my story and how I've used these tools and techniques. And day 3, then navigating the challenges. Day 4, setting consistent daily habits. And day 5, then we'll talk about I'll answer all your questions if you have any. So ask any questions you want to in the comments. I'll gather them all together as the week goes on, and then I'll answer all the questions on Friday. Okay. You can also get a little workbook to assist you with this. This is the Intuitive Life Design workbook. It's about 30 pages of journaling prompts and questions, and it's absolutely free for you to get. If you go to rocksandrituals.com/coaching, you will see that you can download it from there. When you download it, you just pop in your email address, and then you get immediately it'll pop up a link for you to download. If you have any problems accessing it, just let me know and I'll send you a copy. Okay. The reason I ask for your email address in it is just so that I can keep you informed as to when this program goes live and to answer any questions that you might have. So let's talk about it. What's it all about and why should you care? I wanted to put together all the tools that I have used over the last 10 plus years. Rocks and Rituals is 12 this year. 12 years I've been doing this work, and during that time I have managed to turn my life completely around. When I started this, I didn't know exactly where it was going to end up, and I still don't know where it's going to end up. None of us do. Each day is a new step in the journey. And if you saw my live earlier this morning, we were talking about baby steps as well and getting started rather than waiting to see exactly how it's all going to come out. So what I wanted to do from this point is to start to pull together all those tools. So, you know, the mindset and mental health stuff for your mind, you know, physical health and strength and vitality for your body, and you're feeding your soul, your creativity, your love, your happiness, your meditations, your visualizations, bringing this all together into one program, one bank of resources where you can work to develop your intuition. You can lean into your spiritual practice. You know, we'll bring in aspects of Reiki practice and philosophy. We'll bring in maybe information about crystals and shamanism and tarot when we need it. All these tools coming together as resources for you so that you can pick and choose what you need to use and to lean on in order to intuitively design the life that you want to lead. Because it's time to take back control. It's time to get back into the driving seat of your own life and to not be the passenger anymore. And it all starts with building a positive community of people that you can lean on and that we can all inspire and work with together. So my big vision for it is that over time we will build into this lovely supportive community where we can all lean on each other and support each other. Now, initially I am very aware that maybe there'll be a handful of people who join this program, and that's okay, because you guys will be the foundation members. You'll be the founding members of this, and you will be the ones that will help shape it and build it. And as we go through the program, more and more content will be added. Okay, but I'll get into the actual nitty-gritty of the content later. For today, what I want to talk about is really reclaiming your life and taking back your power, taking back the driving seat. Stop being your passenger, okay? But it's time also to stop blaming external circumstances for life not going your way. And I'm sorry if that sounds a bit, this is said with love, okay? It is said from the deepest ocean of love here for you. We are the ones who are responsible for our own lives. It's really easy to blame external circumstances and other people and other things when things don't go our way, but ultimately we have responsibility for our lives. And it took me a long time to realise that. But once I started to take an honest look at what was going on in my life and where I was holding myself back, that's when I started to take great steps forward. And the reason I'm bringing this up right on day one is because this is the foundation of the practice. You have got to assess life. Look at where the clutter is in your life, in your head, in your mind. Where is it? What needs to go? What's not working? But likewise, what is working? And how can you do more of what is working, and how can you do less of what's not working? Okay, now we're going to have a dream here. We need a bit of a dream as well. If you were listening to the live this morning, I talked about the bigger vision. And that's okay to have that big vision and to look at life. You know, it's absolutely fine to have the ultimate dream of the villa in Spain, £1 million in the bank, the Ferrari in the driveway, yada, 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 but that's all just stuff. Okay, it's just stuff. Really what makes a difference in people's lives are the little things. A smile from someone, feeling well, feeling happy, feeling fulfilled, feeling productive. You know, do you feel stuck in a rut? Do you feel you're stuck in a job that doesn't suit you? Do you feel that family are just taking over all your life and you're living life for everybody else and not for yourself? You know, do you want to just feel more fulfilled and more productive, more happy, more in control, more in alignment, more in flow? Well, that's what intuitive life design is all about. Happiness comes from inside, so it's really not dependent on external circumstances, much as we would like to think it is. It's not dependent on having the money and the fame and the success and all these things and all the stuff, the big house, the big car, because often what happens then is we keep reaching for things. I'll be happy when. I'll be happy when I get. I'll be happy when I get. And then you get the thing and you're not happy still because you haven't addressed the root cause underneath. It's a little thing, like a random act of kindness, a smile from a loved one. You know, waking up and feeling good about yourself, being grateful for having a roof over your head, food in your fridge, you know, enjoying your loved ones, having friends, having family, these things, the little things. So you might be struggling with your health right now, for example, and you might be sitting there going, that's all well and good for her. She has it all sorted out. What does she know? She knows nothing. I can't be happy. I'm sick. Okay, fair enough. Absolutely. That's fine. But let me tell you something. My health's not always 100% either. I live with chronic and often debilitating pain. I just choose not to focus on it on a daily basis because I have learned by using the mindfulness and meditation techniques and the self-healing techniques through Reiki and other things that by focusing the energy on what's wrong, I just create more of it. So the more I focus on the pain and go, I'm sore, I'm sore, I'm sore, my body's listening to that. And it gets sorer and sorer and sorer, whereas I start to switch that around. Now, it's a work in progress. There's some days I really do struggle, and there's other days I don't. My hormone balance is all over the show. I'm a perimenopausal woman. It's a wonderful time. And again, I could be really down in the dumps about that, but it's just a stage in life I'm at, and it's a day-to-day thing. So I've switched and reframed it in my mind, and that's come from years of practicing the tools and techniques from intuitive life design. And this is what I want to share with you, the ability that you can reframe things, you can change things around. You know, I also have mad psoriasis as well, that flare up, and I'm in the middle of a mad flare at the moment, and it's really itchy and horrible, and I don't like it. It's really embarrassing too. But you know what? It doesn't define me, and it doesn't stop me being happy. Because happiness comes from inside, okay? So even on the days where I'm in extreme pain, have a really bad flare up and my hormones are playing up, I can still find something to be happy about. Okay? Sometimes you have to look a wee bit harder than others, but it's always there, okay? And I could blame lots of things. I could go, oh, this is all happening because of the pandemic, or I'm so stressed, or, you know, it's money, or it's family, or it's because I have to care for people, or it's because of this or because of that. What does that do? Actually, energetically, what that does is give my power away. It takes my responsibility and puts it on something else. And that's wrong, because actually, it's not the pandemic's fault. It's not, you know, my relative's fault who I have to look after. It's not work. It's not money's fault. It's nobody's fault. It is just what it is. So once you start to reframe these things, you start to understand a little bit more. And I have blamed lots of things in my life. I've blamed my hormones, I've blamed my age. You know, I'm perimenopausal, so it'd be like, it's my hormones that want the chocolate. Because it's easier to blame the hormones than just say, actually, I want the chocolate. And you know what? Sometimes they do. Sometimes my hormones do make me crave things, make us all crave things. But what can I do about that? Well, then I can learn from other experts who know more about that than me, who can explain why that's happening and help me work out maybe what supplements or what foods I can eat that help counteract that. So I can take back control by finding out what I can do to improve it instead of complaining about it. So let's look at another objection to happiness that I hear a lot. I'd be happy, but my family puts so many demands on me. I've no time for myself. I'm always having to look after somebody. Or I've kids with, you know, ADHD, or I have a child who has special needs, or I have a family member who's chronically ill I have to look after. Okay, that's valid, absolutely. But if you can't give yourself up to an hour a day out of the 24 hours you have, then you're living your life for someone else, not for you. And you should be able to find yourself an hour in the day. It doesn't have to be all at once. It can be 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, 15 minutes here. But it comes together into at least an hour a day. Because we all have the same 24 hours in the day. It's just how we choose to prioritise that time and where we put it. And yes, some of us do have to give an awful lot of our time to demanding family members, but at the same time, this one comes down to boundaries and self-awareness. And as you will have heard me say a million times before, if you've done any work with me, you cannot give from an empty vessel. Simply can't. You know, if you're making a cup of tea, what do you do first? You have to fill the kettle. So if you don't fill the kettle, you can't boil the water. If you can't boil the water, you can't make the tea. So, likewise, if you are looking after family members, you've got a weight of responsibility. If you don't look after you, then you can't look after them. Reframe it, switch it round. It's okay to have boundaries and to say, no, I can't do this right now because I need to do this for me first. It's like charging your phone. It doesn't work unless you plug it in the wall. Okay, you've got to charge the battery. You know, you might have to be creative about it. You might have to find, well, where can I carve out 5 minutes to get headspace? Where can I carve out a 10-minute window where I can just enjoy a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, or I can go for a walk? Where can I find those times in my day? Because if you take an honest look, you will find them. Okay? And sometimes that's where it's helpful to have a community of other people who are having the same vibe going on, that they might have similar situations that they can help with. So what other excuses? Hate my job. Can't be happy. I'm in a soul-sucking job. I don't like it. Hate this job. No choice. Got to go to work. Hate the place. Many times do you hear people say that? How many times have you said it? I've said it a million times in the past. I spent many, 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 many years every day with that weight of negativity on me. You know, going to a job that I didn't feel I had a choice. I had to go to work because I had to pay the bills. I had to keep the roof over our head. I had to. Heavy, heavy, heavy energy. Yes, we do have to do various things sometimes that are difficult and that we don't necessarily want to, but we can choose to reframe them and use them as stepping stones. You know, we always have a choice, so we can always have a choice. You can choose not to go, okay, and deal with the consequences of that, okay, or you can choose to go, but with the mindset of, I am going in to do my work and then I'm going to leave it at my desk at 5 o'clock and I'm going to leave. I'm going to then do what I need to do. Meanwhile, I am going to consider other options. I'm maybe going to retrain. I'm maybe going to have a wee look to see what else is out there. I'm going to maybe, you know, speak to the person in work who's causing me the grief and actually have a clear communication. There's lots of different ways and techniques and things that you can do. We can always choose to take back control of how we respond to things. Okay? I mean, I was the same. I was in a soul-sucking job for so long, many, many, many years. And I felt I didn't have a choice. I felt I was like, and it took a redundancy to shake me out of it. But even then, I kind of still defaulted back into the, I have to go to a regular 9 to 5, even though something had changed in me and started me on this path. It took me a little while to build up the courage to actually make the leap from corporate 9 to 5 to self-employment. So I did take baby steps and did do different things and made changes in my life that helped me get to where I am now. I'm going to talk a bit about those tomorrow, about my backstory, just to give you an idea that, you know, it hasn't always been rosy, and there's been lots and lots of effort, daily effort, to get to where I am now. But when I look back those 10 years to where I was, life's so different, so different. So intuitive life design is all about you developing self-awareness and understanding yourself, understanding what drives you, understanding what motivates you for change, what works in your life, what doesn't work, you know, assessing where you are right now, taking stock, looking ahead to where you want to be, shifting your mindset, reframing limiting beliefs. Now, all of this work is all about taking ultimate responsibility for living your life your way, but all of this work takes time. It takes a little bit of effort every single day. There's no magic wand, okay? So intuitive life design is not a big magic wand that comes in. It's a year-long program. And the reason it's a year long is you can dip in and out of it as you need to. Okay, so you can also, if you get into it and you don't like it, you can leave, it's fine. But ideally you want to stay in it for a year, and you want to be building your skills and building your knowledge as you go and making the small changes, so that at the end of the year you can look back and then you can stay in the program for as long as you want. You know, the membership's open. It's a monthly membership. You pay for as long as you want to be in it, and that's what it's for. So I'm doing the same at the moment. I'm taking back control of my wellness. I have got my mental health better than it's ever been. My spiritual health is really decent right now. But my physical health, as I alluded to earlier, is not great. So I'm taking back control of that. I am working with a coach of my own. I am doing different things that need to do for me in order to bring my physical health back. So I'm still practicing what I preach here. I'm still walking my talk. Because intuitive life design is a journey. It's about stepping into the flow and going with what your gut and your intuition tells you is right for you, so that you can design your life your way, so that you can live life on your terms. Okay? And as I said earlier, it's all about pulling together all the various tools that I've used over the years. So the Reiki tools, the shamanic tools, the mindset tools, the spiritual tools, the creative tools, all these different things. Gradually I'm going to add into the program, and over the course I intend to run this program for as long as possible, okay? And I'd love you to be joining me. I'd love you to be in there. But I'm going to talk a little bit more about it tomorrow. I'm not going to keep you any longer now, because I'm sure that you maybe need to go and grab your lunch if you're on your lunch break or whatever. But what I would like you to do is go to www.enrolment.co.uk/coaching. You'll find a little bit more about the programme there. You can also then download the little workbook. If I say little, it's about 30 pages, but it's just really journal prompts. It comes in 3 parts about assessing and understanding, setting foundations and goals, and then setting up for success. So you don't have to fill it all in at once. Fill it in over the course of this week or longer, and it might just give you an idea of what's working, what's not working. Maybe would you like a little bit of help? Would you like to join in with other people? Would you like to find out a little bit more about intuitive life design? You can join the waiting list if you wish as well. The programme's going to open on Friday, but I'll talk a little bit more about that as the week goes on. For now, what I want you to do is have a wee think. What needs to change in your life? What is working really well for you and what's not working? And if you're feeling brave enough, you can leave your answer in the comments. And if you've any questions about the programme, you can leave those in the comments too. I'll be answering all questions on Friday. So for now, go to roxandrituals.co.uk/coaching. Download your book, your workbook, and you can fill that in as the week goes on. Tomorrow I'll be back at 1 o'clock again, and I'm going to talk a little bit about my backstory and about how I've used these tools to turn my life around from being in complete stress, burnout, chronic depression phase to where I am now, which is a completely different person than I was 10 years ago. And hopefully that will inspire you and motivate you to make some changes yourself if life's not going 100% your way. As I said, any questions, leave them in the comments. I'm going to be answering them all on Friday in a big Q&A session. And for now, thank you so much if you were able to join me. If you weren't able to join me live, don't worry, just do a wee hashtag replay and let me know you caught up on the replay. This will also be posted on YouTube in due course. And I will be back again tomorrow, and I'll speak to you then. Bye.